We're back with the Radzin Institute in the introduction to the Beit Yaakov by Rabbi Gershon Chenech of Radzin, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. I'm your host, Vital Edwards. The nature of the revelation of the Torah that was revealed to Rabbi Shimon was on the level of Torah Shebichtav. This is the written Torah. In other words, he's saying something quite remarkable here. He's saying the Zohar, which everybody knows is a midrash. It's like there are different hermeneutic collections of writings. The hermeneutic is basically commentary explaining hidden things. It could be not so hidden things or very hidden things, but like the legends of the Torah, like the way a legend in a story, whether it's true or fantastical, it expresses a certain kind of truth and it reveals something that wasn't known before. It could use a dialectic method. It could use verses, comparing words and verses, comparing situations. You're giving parables. This is all called midrash. And everybody knows that the Zohar is a book of the midrash. Actually, most people don't know that. Most people think it is something other than the Torah. But there is a collection of writings, holy writings, called midrash, hermeneutic explanations, using a dialectic, using verses, explaining things, explaining the secrets of life. Midrash. Loosely, the common man knows of it as the legends of the Torah. It's not simply legends. A midrash that mentions names of Talmudic sages is a true story. A midrash that mentions a place called Kushta is not a true story. In other words, you have to understand how to learn midrash. Now, the Zohar is not something. A lot of people these days, I don't know if they realize that the Zohar is a commentary on the Torah, and I think very less people know that the Zohar is a midrash. So the striking thing that the Radzin Rebbe here is saying is that the Zohar, meaning the Torah revealed to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the great Talmudic sage who lived right after the destruction of the Second Temple. It should be built speedily and in our days. He lived about in the beginning of the second century of the Common Era, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. His revelation was on the level of the written Torah. However, he lived well into the time of the oral Torah, which we said started, the Radzin Rebbe earlier, a few pages ago, said started with Yeshua. The written Torah is only Moses' prophecy, correct. And the oral Torah starts after Moses passes away with Yeshua. So there's two chidushim, two new ideas, brand new ideas going on here. One new idea is that the written Torah ends with Moshe, and that the oral law starts with Joshua. We normally think of the oral law going all the way from Joshua to Micha, right? To the end, to the sealing of the 24 books of the written Torah, prophet's writings and the Bible writings and the prophets, right? Tanakh. But the Radzin Rebbe says no. The written Torah is only the 5 books of Moses. So now he's saying the opposite. He's saying something that is an exception, and the exception is that Rabbi Shimon is on the level of the written Torah. The Zohar is on the level of the written Torah, Torah Shebichtav. It says there's nothing in the world outside of the Torah. Everything comes from the Torah. Everything in the world is included into the Torah. After all, God created the world. How did God create the world? God looked into the Torah, which he had 2,000 years before he created the physical world. He looked into the Torah, and then he created the world. Everything comes from the Torah. It's like we say in the Zohar, Rebbe Yehuda said, the Holy One, blessed be He, is called Shamayim. Since He is called Shamayim, when all the firmaments that are included in this name join together as one, they are called Shamayim, and are called names of God. When all these firmaments that we speak of, what are they? What are all the firmaments that we speak of? We are taught that there are 7 kinds of firmaments. There is Vilon, Rakia, Shchakim, Zvul, Ma'on, Mechon, Va'aravot. These are different names for the firmaments, the heavens, the skies, and so forth. Vilon is like the word veil. It's the same roots as veil in English. The heavens, there's one of the 7 levels of the heavens is called a veil in the Zohar's cosmology. We learn in the Agadata, the hermeneutic of Rabbi Hamnuna Saba. The teachings of Rabbi Hamnuna Saba are numerous in this matter. Rabbi Shimon said that the teachings of Rabbi Hamnuna contain the following. Over against the 70 crowns, and remember that a crown is another word for a sphira, a vessel containing light, a purely spiritual entity that God uses to conduct the world. Over against these 70 crowns, as they are called here, of the king, we placed according to them are the 7 firmaments and the 7 planets that run and go forth and so forth. Even though they are all hidden in the firmaments, they are still called in the name of the physical planets. The 7 planets are Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon. This was in the cosmology of the day of Rabbi Shimon. I know that modern astronomy says differently. These 7 spheroids are used to receive the names of these 7 planets. In other words, the 7 planets correspond to the 7 lower spheroids: Chesed, loving kindness, Gevurah, strength, Tiferet, beauty, Netzach, eternity, Hod, majesty, Yesod, foundation, and Malchut, sovereignty. These are the 7 lower emanations, Sfirot, the lower illuminations. And this is in order to cover the matter of the spiritual planes, in order to conceal the matter of the spiritual planes. This is as is written in the book of Isaiah, Yeshayahu, chapter 47, verse 13. Let them stand up and say to you, O astrologers and star diviners. In other words, that there's something beyond astrology and divination, and that is the infinite himself. And the astrologers only go as far as the stars, but there is something beyond the stars, and beyond anything that the human mind can fathom. These names are only an external covering. We use these names even though they are not in the way of the Torah. Rabbi Shimon says these names of the earth, the sun and the moon and Jupiter and Venus and Saturn are not in the ways of the Torah. There's the way of the astrologers and there's the way of the Torah. And they are not the same. However, the Zohar uses these names even though they are not in the way of the Torah. Why? Because everything is included in the Torah. This is a question of terminology. And the path we take is the path of the Torah. This is as it is written in Breshit chapter 26, he called them in the names that his father had called them. In other words, before the Torah was given, they had certain names, and they would use them. And Abraham used to know the secrets of astrology. We proceed according to the way God speaks, Rabbi Shimon said. We go with him, as it is written in the 28th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy, and you shall go in his ways. Rabbi Yehuda called God Shamayim. Now the Gershon Chanech has just finished presenting a Zohar. And the Zohar says that even though the sun is a physical sun, but it represents a sphira of chesed. It represents something beyond the physical. It is not an object of worship. It is not an object of prayer. It is a part of creation. There's the physical sun in the Siyah. And then there's the 10 Sfirot in Yetzirah, which is already a spiritual plane, not a physical plane. And so forth, all the way up, Bria, Yetzilut, Adam Kadmon, up to the infinite, the one and only that has no end. So Gershon Chanech says that Rabbi Yehuda called God Shamayim. The heavens, he called God heavens. Heavens is the name of God. Why? Because the total inclusion of all the firmaments are called Shamayim. The Shamayim, heavens, includes all of the 7 heavens and spiritually meaning all of the 7 spheroids. Shamayim is the name of God, may be blessed. Then Rabbi Yitzchak mentioned the teachings of Rabbi Hamnuna, which say that the geography of the cosmos, hosts of galaxies and the like, all contain 70 crowns. In other words, sphirot, divine illuminations. 70 firmaments, 7 firmaments, constellations of spirit, and their servants. It's all included in the Torah. The whole universe is included in the Torah.